Good morning or good evening to wherever this finds you. Welcome to the Fun Hog Pod with your hosts, Matt Cook and Butch Mayhew. Let's let that fun ensue.
Welcome to the Fun Hog Podcast. I'm Matt Cook, and I'm excited to be here tonight. Butch, how are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. Maybe even a little buttery.
Ooh, a teaser of what's to come. Man, super excited to be talking about butter. We're just gonna jump right in. You know what? I got a little one for you. Why did the butter bring a suitcase to work?
Why did the butter bring a suitcase to work? I'm not sure. Tell me why, Matt.
Because it was on a roll.
Oh, man. You gotta love the dad jokes.
Butter
Love
jokes, they're coming. Man, did you have any Fun Hog moments this week?
I do. Well, this goes back 3-ish weeks ago, so I've been saving this one because we've had some other stuff happening. But this past, within the last 3 weeks, we actually got a letter in the mail. This was something Julia got in the mail.
Mailbox.
Like mailbox.
We've got some younger listeners. Would you explain what a mailbox is?
Yeah, a mailbox is a box that's out in front of your house that has numbers on it, in which people can write or mail packages to that number with your street, with your state, and your city, and your zip code, and it will arrive in your mailbox, assuming the sender has paid the right amount or more postage value that it takes to send mail. Back to the story. That's your mailbox there. Last year, I was pretty excited as a young child. I didn't do anything like this, even though I was a big baseball fan. But last year, I actually got a bunch of baseball cards, wrote a bunch of letters to all the different Braves players, and sent them to the Braves stadium in hopes that they would sign something or just acknowledge my existence or whatever. But it was also like encouraging stuff, whether they read it or not, I have no idea. But when you do that, they encourage you on the website that you can write a letter, send something, and if you want them to send something back, you do have to kind of like include a made out letter with a stamp with postage to come back to you. So last year we wrote like 30 letters. It was me. I wrote a bunch, and I included the kids and what to say and who we were writing them to. And it was a fun experience, but it was kind of a letdown because we only got one letter back. And so I was like, well, this year, anybody who wants to, any of our kids, let's write to this one person. Okay. So the only person who took me up on it was my youngest, Julia. And the person I'm referring to is the Braves mascot, Blooper.
Nice.
He's wild. He's great. I love him. Big fan. So my daughter, she drew a picture of Blooper and like cut it out and drew it. It looked like a Flat Stanley. Do you know about Flat Stanley?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, old school, right? So it looked like that. We folded them up and we put them in the letter and we sent off a card and we sent it off and she was actually asking about it. Like anticipation was there. She was, hey, if we get anything in the mail? I was like, nope. 2, 3, 4 weeks go by and we got a letter from Blooper. And he sends back basically the card we sent signed, and he sent out another card that he signed, and it was just so awesome to like get the letter, call her up, watch her open it, and just see like the excitement, the giddiness that she had. Man, it was just a fun hog moment that I don't think I'll ever forget, and yeah, it was just really special. Through the night, we also have sitting time. That's where I'll go and like sit with her for a couple minutes before bed and ask her how her day was going. she has the card like sitting on her little night table, and she showed me the other night. She's like, Dad, I was just been looking at that card and thinking about it. And I'm like, yeah, picture a blooper that he signed. And I was like, oh, it was just really special.
Man, I love that. That's just awesome. Way to go. Hey, blooper, man. Well done. I mean, what a cool moment for
Well done, blooper and Braves and
create for your family. That's awesome, dude.
How about you? What's your fun hog moment?
Well, it was Father's Day this past week, and man, I just had a fantastic Father's Day weekend. Really, it's kind of started off on Saturday for us. So my oldest is really into golf. I've mentioned that several times, and we played a father-son scramble. Or it was parent-child technically, but it was Father's Day weekend, so it's mostly fathers and sons. But we are both just okay at golf, not great, and so didn't have super high expectations. And it's a real easy course here, Overton Park, just down the road. And man, we played incredible, Butch. We were the second group out in the morning, so we were really early, which was really nice because it was super hot. But we shot 4 under par, which I thought we would have shot, 5 over par or something like that. Like some of my good friends who are very, very good at golf, they shot like 5 under, and then our middle school golf coach and his son, he was like one of the best players in the state. They actually shot 3 under, so we beat them, which was really fun. But man, we just had a good old time with that, and it's man, golf is so much fun when you're playing well. I can't think of any other sport like that where it is terrible when you're playing poorly, and like almost like a high when you're doing it well. Like most other sports are pretty even keeled. You go play a game of basketball, you kind of know what to expect going into it. But golf is just unlike that. But it just continued on a whole Father's Day weekend. A lot of time outside swimming. Got to call my dad and talk to him, and just celebrate him a little bit. So it was just a fantastic Fun Hog Father's Day weekend.
Nice. That is awesome. So for those of you who don't know what a scramble is in golf, can you explain that to us?
Sure. So it's the most fun way to play golf. So in a normal round of golf, you hit your ball, and then you have to keep hitting your ball. So if you hit your ball into the woods, then you get penalties assessed,
or the water,
or
the sand trap.
It's just up to you. But
or
when you
backwards.
Exactly. When you play a scramble, you're playing with somebody else, and so you can play 2 or 4 person scrambles. 4 person's really fun. You shoot very, very low scores, but you're always hitting the best shot all the way through the hole, and so you kind of don't get stuck on out in the woods. I mean, occasionally if you're not playing with somebody who's very good, you might both hit it into the woods, but it's a fun format, particularly if you're not good at golf. Scramble's a really fun way to play. It's how most of your kind of fundraiser type tournaments are organized as well.
Very nice. So you said you beat some people, you tied with some people. Like, did y'all win the tournament, or what was the lowest score?
So -8 won. It's a 9-hole tournament, so I mean, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's a lot of birdies.
Yeah, that's a lot of birdies. So, and it's a pretty short little fun course, but so -8 won. We ended up tied for 14th. So there were 55 teams, and we were tied 14th. But I have a picture of us on the leaderboard because we were the second team out. So it has us at the top. Yahtzee! So that was great.
Awesome. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. All right, so butter's our word for this week. Man.
Butter.
Why did the butter go to school, Butch?
I'm not there on my dad jokes tonight. Why did the butter go to school?
To get a little more cultured.
It's good. It's so bad it's good.
It's
Love
so
it.
bad it's good. Love it.
Well, I will start off by sharing about just the first time that I've seriously thought about butter in the past 10 years. All right. And this is a shout out to old Nate Williams. Nate Williams, some of y'all may know him, introduced me to a gentleman on YouTube. I'm going to probably pronounce this guy's name wrong. Is Lubalin, Lubalin. And he had a series on internet drama. This is part 3. A song called I Just Need Butter. And it's fantastic. It's 51 seconds. It's not long. And it's a meme, right? It's very memey or whatever. What does this thing have? This thing has only 45,000 views. It needs a whole lot more views on the YouTubes. I don't know if this is like a redo or whatever, but it's fantastic. It's a music video. Guys singing about how he needs butter very passionately. And, that got me thinking about butter. I started playing it for my kids, and they got into it. And, there's more to come with that. But have you heard this song before, Matt?
I have not. I'm looking forward to listening to it.
All right. Well, we will have a link in the show notes. I just encourage everyone, go check it out. Go listen to it with us.
It's worth your 51 seconds?
It's worth 51 seconds.
Okay.
100%.
But how often would you say you have butter on your dinner table? Like you're eating your meal and it's not like included in the cooking process, but it's physically present on your dinner table.
I mean, this is the question that Patrick posed in the last session. Do you leave it out or leave it in the fridge? Right. And for us, it's really only at like Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's the only time we have it sitting out, ready to be used for, your dinner rolls or whatever. But we do use butter quite a lot in our cooking and preparing. Actually, tonight, when my daughter was preparing some corn that we steamed in the microwave, she poured it out and she asked, hey, can I add some butter to this? And, the answer when you have corn and butter, the answer is always yes. Correct?
Clearly.
So this was corn off the cob, but, corn on the cob, you kind of roll it on the butter, or you figure out how, you roll the butter on it, and, it's so good, which, that does lead me to another very famous, popular YouTube internet song parody. But there's this guy called the CEO of Corn who talks about just his love of corn and, how the corn has the juice and all these things. So we'll also link that. That's from Recess Therapy. I think there's even like a song that people have made from it as well. But the Corn Boy, Corn Boy and, I Just Need Butter. Those kind of go hand in hand when it comes to internet songs that make me smile about food.
There you go, man. I didn't realize it was such a popular internet topic.
It is.
We in the cookhouse in my house we do. I'd say similarly. We pretty much only have butter on the table at Thanksgiving, but that is quite divergent from the way that I grew up. So, growing up, butter was pretty much on the table every meal, and because we had bread almost every meal, and we had 2 types of butter actually in our household, because my dad was a country crock man.
In the bowl, the country crock bowl, yeah,
the little brown tub.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was I can't believe it's not butter, because I find country crock's melting qualities to be subpar. It's okay on taste, but man, country crock just doesn't melt fast enough. I really like my melted butter, on my warm bread, and so it's actually become pretty funny. I was talking to Abigail just a minute ago, and she was very excited for this podcast to hear just about this experience. So now when if I mean, again, it's probably twice a year that she puts butter on the table, and I mean, we celebrate like it's like, oh, it's gonna be a great night. We got bread, we got butter. I mean, which is so funny because I mean, I grew up with having a lot more butter for sure, and man, yeah, Abigail's. I mean, I'm really it's a lucky night for me if we get butter on the table. So,
All right, and nowadays, is it still? I can't believe it's not butter, or you got the real thing now?
what do you mean the real thing? What's this real thing you speak
I
of?
can't believe it's not butter. Is that real? That's not real butter, is it?
Yeah, maybe it's margarine or something technically, but yeah.
I mean, well, what do you bring to the table? A stick of butter, or is it like
No, it's
a
in
tub?
it's in the tub. Yeah.
You still got the tub going. All right.
I mean, no, nowadays the tub comes out twice a year, so it's it's not quite the same. But in the good old days, when I would I was actually talking to a friend about the standards in the '90s for like health were just so different. It was like, hey, no more than 2 Cokes a day. It's like a legitimate way. Like that was a reasonable parenting decision to limit your kids to 2 Cokes a day, right? Then like
two sodies.
Exactly, that's what we were talking about. It's like you would get like the grape sodas or the orange sodas that were even like pure sugar. I mean,
It's like they're grapes. They've got fruit in them, right? They're better
Yeah.
for you.
I don't think butter's particularly healthy though, right?
I would agree with that, but it's so good. It's so good. So at our house, I'm not sure when. My childhood, we had the tubs of butter, we had sticks of butter, and we had like we had a lot of different kinds. But what we have nowadays is the gold Kerrygold box, the pure Irish butter. And for those of you that are not on video, I'm showing a picture of this off. But
Is that
comes
melting right now?
It's not melting. No, this is an empty box.
Oh,
so this kind of goes to like once we had the internet sensation of I just need butter. That actually started something pretty big in our family called the Butter Wars.
Butter Wars.
It all started when we were unloading groceries, and these little gold boxes come around, and I just decided, hey, I'm gonna go hide this in somebody's like pillow or in somebody's bed or in some place where they're gonna stumble across it, and we called it the Butter Wars, and we've kind of gotten each other back and forth doing different things. There's been some escalations where people have like basically collected all the butters and did something big with it. And there's also been some deconstructing of certain butter boxes, as you can see here, where we have a butter crown for those of you that are not on the video, but you can see this belongs to Gideon. He's the butter king. And he's typically the one that the butter wars go on between, just me and him. This is how we get at each other and show each other we love each other by messing with each other in little ways.
So I don't quite understand. You take an actual tub of butter and you like hide it in someone's pillowcase?
No, so the key is you could do this with a tub, but this is a tub with no butter or an empty box, and you go hide it. So it's kind of
the
like
golden ticket. It's just a cool box to surprise somebody.
It's a cool box, or you could do the tub. You could go hide it somewhere, or you open the closet and it falls out on you. You got to put it in somebody's pocket. That's a good one that I've used a little bit. Put it in somebody's shoe. They go to put on their shoe and boom, can't put on your shoe. Why? You got a butter box in your shoe. Like you've been buttered. Boom. So
bang biscuit.
Bang biscuit. By the way, butter's great on biscuits.
Ooh, butter's man. Have you ever met a biscuit that didn't get better with butter? I mean,
well, I will say this: I've had a biscuit that had too much butter because that can be done, right? Once the butter becomes like a pool in your biscuit and it's soaked all the way through to the bottom, where like your whole plate is butter, you've gone too far.
Yeah. We've got a fried chicken joint here. What's the name of it?
Bojangles?
No, I would know Bojangles, man. Man, how did Bojangles not come up as one of the most fun words to say? Bojangles, that's got to be in there. No, this is Guthrie's is the name of it.
Yeah, Guthrie's is great.
It is great, man. They will butter up some Texas toast. I mean, I had one the other day. It was dripping. It's like, whew, that's too much butter.
You gotta get like a second piece of bread to soak it up.
It was disgusting, honestly. But I ate it too.
It's disgusting. It's so good.
So good. Oh man.
Well, this is the pinnacle of the Butter Wars. So for Gideon's birthday, we actually got him a what is this? This is probably a 1.5 foot long butter pillow. This was specially ordered from Etsy, and this was one of his. I buttered him, and he sleeps with it every night. I think he loves it.
That's special, man.
It's with me here tonight. So
I love it. I love it. Now, did a couple episodes ago you mentioned your nephew was buttering his armpits. Is that how did that happen again? Because I don't feel like I ever. Maybe there was lag that day. I don't feel like I got the full story.
I'm still not sure how it happened. I don't know. I was being a funkle, right? We talked about the word funkle, and I was just thinking, what's something crazy we can do that would be funny that he would remember for the rest of his life? And opened up the fridge, and I was like, well, there's some butter in here. Let's tell him this will make him grow taller or something. I don't know. I did something like that. I was like, let me rub it on for you. And I mean, it was great. I'll remember it for the rest of my life. I don't know if he will. We'll find out. But it was just being a funkle and being in the moment and trying to be a little creative along the way.
I mean, you nailed it. I don't see how anybody could forget that. Just when you applied butter as if it were deodorant. I mean, I was thinking, what if you'd done that with some spray butter? Do you have? When was the last time you used spray butter?
Man, it's been a long time. I mean, my mom was a big fan of that, so we would have a lot of that in the house. We'd have the Pam, and we'd have like the spray butter, or like the Pam, the butter flavored Pam is probably what we had in there. And I remember buying that as a college kid, because I'm like, well, what else are we going to use to butter up the pans? You got to get your butter Pam. And but I think Rebecca's a little more conscious of the food we consume here, and she tries to go a little more natural on some of those things. So
yeah, we've got like the avocado oil and I don't know, all kind of healthy sounding stuff. It's like just put some butter in there, it'll be just fine.
That's right. I mean, butter does make things better.
I try to sneak butter
in the right moderation.
Meals as much as anytime I'm cooking,
of the
butter's
time.
coming out. The upload is not buttery smooth here. This is the best it's been in weeks, so we'll take it.
Cut out. Buttery smooth.
Buttery smooth.
It seems like it has been better, but we'll do some editing here in the middle.
All right, hey, I got another good butter story. In high school, so I was proud alum of Sumter High School in Sumter, South Carolina. And our basketball coach at the time, he would run like basketball camp during the summer. So I think I actually mostly remember him when I was younger. So it was I never made the high school basketball team. Me and Michael Jordan both didn't make the high school basketball team. Similar athletic careers, but he would do these crazy exercises as it was kind of like week-long kind of summer camp, whatnot. And he was just a great personality. But the one I'll always remember is he would get us to do the butterfly, where you sit with your your feet kind of up against your body, and you try to push down on your knees. And he would just yell, "Hot butter and the fly," and so anytime it was the butterfly, I always think about that. Anytime that comes up. So
Hot butter and the fly.
hot butter and the fly. Oh man, it was good. I was just thinking about that. Is the butterfly related to butter in any way?
I don't think butterflies taste good, so probably not.
I don't think so. I'm gonna look that up real quick. The etymology of butterfly. Is it somehow related? Nope.
Is that what ChatGPT said, or is that Google?
First Google result says, it is interesting to note that the name came from English colonists who thought that witches would turn into winged creatures at night and steal butter.
I mean, maybe the butterflies are attracted to butter.
How'd you know that? That's one of the things. Yeah. No one really knows. That's a clear answer. Huh. Didn't even know that. There's the more modern song. I think it's BTS, Butter. Do you know that one?
I don't. Tell me about it.
I don't know enough about it to talk intelligently here, but it's like a fun little pop song. Yeah, smooth like butter, like a criminal undercover is the opening line. Yeah, BTS. Yeah, we'll link to that one.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right, you got any other good butter stories?
I mean, I just love butter. I love thinking about butter and playing butter jokes and, eating butter. Butter on a pancake is one of the most delicious things there can be, right? Go to Cracker Barrel, get one of those big old, three stack pancakes. Their butter's something different. I don't know if their butter's like more whipped or something, but it is special. They smooth it out there, throw the syrup on there. That gives you the right amount of salty to sweet, and it's really good.
It's really good. Yeah, you get those hot cakes where you get the butter like in between the layers of pancake.
It's real good. So here's a question for you and our listeners. When you are eating waffles, are you one, I'm thinking like Waffle House waffles. Yeah. Are you one to make sure that you have a little piece of butter in each of the little, waffle holes, or just right across the middle, maybe make an X or something? I mean, what's your strategy there?
No, every hole's got to get a little bit of butter, just a skosh. But why else would you have the waffle if it's not a?
So it's butter. I mean, do you do that with like the syrup as well?
Absolutely, yeah. Every single bite has to have it. Maybe sometimes you get those little edge pieces; those are a little bit tricky. But yeah, absolutely, every single bit.
Wonderful. That's good to know. I'm actually one where I don't have to have butter in every single square, but I do have to have syrup. If I can get 50% of the waffle, the butter in the concaves, is that what we're going to call them? Waffle concaves, waffle caves?
Waffle caves.
Waffle caves. If I can fill about 50% up, I'm satisfied.
That's a good ratio for you. Yeah. If we were to have a butter eating contest, you're eating it straight out of the tub, how many, we'll say spoonfuls of butter, do you think you could put down?
Oh man, these are like heaping spoons.
Yeah, these are quality bites of butter.
I bet I could eat a whole tub. I'm not gonna feel good after. I bet I could force myself through it. What I would do, my approach. Let me tell you about my approach. It would be, think about if I ate this whole thing of butter, what would Tyler Purcell say to me? And I know what he'd say. He'd say, "Good job." So just Tyler Purcell letting me know that I did a good job. I would force myself to eat a whole tub of butter if it came down to it. Am I going to do that? No, because I want to be sick for a week.
Yeah.
But if it came down to like, I need to do this to protect my family or for some really good reason, yeah, I would be thinking about Tyler, and I'd just say, let's do it.
Yeah, so that just made me think about there's got to be a world record for this. And there is, and it's disgusting. In 2002, American competitive eater Don Lerman set the record for eating the most butter in 5 minutes, consuming 28 ounces of salted butter. That's the equivalent of the weight of 2 footballs and 5,700 calories.
That's a lot of butter.
Oh my goodness.
28 ounces. That, I mean, how many pounds is that? I think in pounds. It's like
60 ounces in a pound, right? So almost 2 pounds.
2 pounds of butter. It's a lot of butter.
A whole lot of butter. Whew. Did you have any like competitive eating? Have you ever tried any of those, like the marshmallow contest or the hot dog eating or anything like that?
I have not tried anything like that recently. You know, in the youth group, we'd play like Chubby Bunny.
Yeah.
But that's less about eating. That's more about how much can you fit in your mouth without like choking to death and still saying words.
Yeah. I like to think about the hot dog one. I mean, the numbers those guys put up are just incredible. You know, like think about a day where you eat 12 hot dogs, right? Like I like hot dogs. Like that's one an hour for a regular old day. Like that's a ton of hot dogs. You know, and they eat like 65 or 70 in 12 minutes. So, that's
it's wild. We've actually got there's a local restaurant here in Pelham, Alabama called Tony's Hot Dog. I actually ate there today. Shout out Leftwich. It was a great burger we shared together. We didn't share the burger, but we shared our time together over burgers. But it's Tony's Hot Dog. They make a great burger. They make great breakfast. They also make hot dogs. I've never had their hot dogs, but they have a hot dog eating contest, you know, every year. And I saw them hyping it up on Facebook that they're working towards making sure everybody's, you know, committed to coming so they can do this thing. I don't remember what their record was, but it was way more hot dogs than I wanted to eat in a day or a month.
Yeah. That makes me think, you know, hot dogs reminds me of my dad's specialty is the Howard Johnson hot dog. Have you ever had we called them Hojos. Have you ever had a Hojo?
I've not.
Oh, man.
Tell me about the Hojo.
Delicious treat for you and the fam. So it's a boiled hot dog.
Okay, we've made boiled hot dogs before. Is this a specific brand or
No. It's just a boiled hot dog. We were Gwaltney people growing up. I'm kind of a ballpark guy now, but either way. But the key is you put a piece of toast, you butter it, and you kind of get a griddle or a skillet or whatever you've got. And so you do that, and then you wrap the hot dog in just a regular piece of bread, so you don't have a traditional hot dog bun. Just a regular piece of bread, but buttered.
Ooh, buttered on a hot dog.
Yeah, buttered bread. So think it's almost like a Texas toast, but a homemade version of it with a boiled hot dog in the middle. Man, Hojos, they're great.
Very nice.
Lots of good memories. Most of my memories have butter in them somehow.
That's wonderful. I'll have to try this Hojo. So when you're boiling hot dogs, you make sure like the hot dog is actually like busting out. You know what I mean? Where it's like the edges are all like, let me away from this hot dog.
I think it's when the first rip happens, then you know you're like the little. I think it tends to be the end of it that kind of splits open.
Right.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we'll have to try that. You know, recently it's my butter son, my son that loves butter, or that we have the butter wars with. He only eats hot dogs that have been boiled. You know, I guess he would if we were out, but he definitely prefers the boiled hot dog over, a
Microwave.
cooked hot dog on the grill or a microwave. So
Oh, even on the grill, man.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it the consistency of the boiling?
I think
or what?
I think it's the consistency and just the way it tastes, the way it looks, all that stuff. So, but he also talking about hot dogs. You go to Costco, get you a hot dog for a big old hot dog and a drink for $1.50. That's one of our faves to do is a family and with the kids. So
Love Costco. No, I love the Costco hot dog special. Man, that's good. In college, also butter related here, we had the grilled cheese challenge, which was to buy a loaf of bread. We preferred the
Wonder
white
Bread.
Wonder Bread. There you go. And so you'd buy a loaf of bread. You'd buy a thing of. I really like doing cheddar cheese. Real cheddar's better for grilled cheese. And then you would buy butter, and you would try to eat the entire loaf in one night because we had a George Foreman. And,
Like
and so
like the whole group or per person?
one person, you would try to do it yourself. That's a good time if you're ever really bored and hanging out around a college town and have a Winn-Dixie or a Piggly Wiggly or you don't really want to go to a bougie grocery store for that type of challenge. You want to go to a good old country brand,
I hear you. So was that successul for anybody?
I don't
Did
think
anybody
so.
actually finish?
No, it was everybody lost is the general deal. We would make them on the George Foreman. Did you ever have a George Foreman that you cooked on?
I did, and it was in college.
Of course.
We had the George Foreman that had the bun heater up top. I don't know if you had one of those.
Premium. Man, you guys at Auburn, man, just next level.
Living the dream. I will say I miss having a George Foreman around because if I want to make a little panini or something, I've got to go heat up the skillet and get the right skillet going and cook it twice. You have to cook it on both sides. Like that George Foreman, yeah, I think I had something going for it. I think it'll make a comeback one day. Once enough people have forgotten about it, maybe it's going to be called something else.
Did it ever die? I think they're still prevalent in college. It's just like that time
It's like
place.
when you get married, it's like, you get all this new, cookware or whatever
Yeah.
from getting married. And it's like, well, we got to make room. George Foreman, get out of here.
So one time we were, I was a student at Clemson, and we were playing football down at Florida State, and so we went to that game, and we spent all of our money on tickets to the game because you had to buy the away tickets, and so we didn't get a hotel room, and we just took our George Foreman to cook on, and so we hooked it up to the car, we literally some of our rich friends had a hotel room, and so we parked in their parking lot, and we slept in the car and cooked on the George Foreman. Oh, man.
Tailgating with the George Foreman. There it is.
Yeah, it was great. That was great. Clemson won that game, too, so it all worked out.
Good memories. So worth it.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
I mean, butter works pretty good on a George Foreman, right? You can kind of butter the bottom or, butter the bread. I prefer to just go ahead and put it on the skillet and just smash the bread down there. I mean, that bread's going to soak all that butter up.
See, I'd go directly to bread with the George Foreman. I do like to throw it in the skillet normally, but yeah. And you had that grease trap on the George Foreman. Like that thing was brilliant. I mean, just squeezes out, just right into the tray. Easy cleanup. Fine piece
Those
of
are the
cookware.
days.
Hey, what about there's a candy bar by the name of Butterfinger. What are your thoughts on that? I was always, as somebody who loves butter, I thought I was going to love the Butterfinger, but never really had a deep affinity for the Butterfinger. How about you?
Butterfinger's number
Yeah, like the
9 on the candy bar, which is pretty low on the on the popular candy bar scale. So
What's above it? What's above it?
everything else except for Zero bars. Those things are gross. And Almond Joys, go ahead and throw those beneath the Butterfinger.
Anything with coconut is just an imposter in the candy section. Let's
That's
be
right.
honest.
Write us your hate mail at howdy@funhog.com, please.
We don't want coconut. Like, I'm paying for this candy. I don't want coconut in it. You think we can agree on a Fun Hog top 5 candy bars?
I bet we could.
All right. What are our candidates here?
I think Snickers is definitely in the top 5.
Yep.
Milky Way is in the top 5, probably closer
Ooh.
to 4 or 5.
Yeah, closer to 6 or 7.
Reese Cups counts, right?
Oh yeah.
That's
Reese's.
a candy circle. It's not quite
Yeah.
a bar.
Twix.
Twix, yeah, we can add that in the top 5.
Yeah. Kit Kat.
That's more like a 6 or a 7 in my
Ooh,
book.
Man.
Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Man, it's such a good commercial.
That doesn't make the candy bar great.
It's just not enough. That's the only problem with Kit Kat. You just want more.
Yeah, they do. That's why you want a friend to share to break you off some more of that Kit Kat bar.
It hasn't stuck for me. I think they messed with the recipe, but Fast Break, the Reese's Fast Break, for a while that was my go-to.
I have only had like 1 or 2 of those in my life, and I think it was for my kids' candy from Halloween.
Yeah.
So
Right.
can't speak to that.
Yeah.
But I think like what we've named is probably the top 5. I mean, Three Musketeers, that doesn't make the top, right?
Yeah, not even close. Yeah. Hey,
I
how
mean,
about
it's
what,
not. It's above Almond Joy still.
Yeah.
But it's.
I mean, congratulations on beating the worst candy bar there is.
And these are like popular American candy bars. So I know there's all sorts of chocolates everywhere, and German and all these places have great chocolate. We're not really talking about those, right? We're talking about pretty much the Mars Company candy bars, right?
Mainstream. Yeah, you're at a gas station. It's 10 o'clock at night, and you need a little more juice to, get you back home. What are you picking up here?
Yeah. So I mean, we can agree that Snickers is number 1, right?
Yeah, Snickers number 1.
Number 2. What's your number 2?
If we're gonna include Reese's peanut butter cups, it's got to be either that or Twix, for me.
Number 2 Reese's. Number 3 Twix.
All right.
What's your number 4?
I think mine would probably be Kit Kat, but you've already. We're trying to work on this list together, so I'll be collaborative here. And
I'll accept Kit Kat at 5.
Kit Kat at 5. All right. What's 4 then?
We got Milky Way. We've got what else we got? Baby Ruth.
I can't do Milky Way, Baby Ruth. There was like that. What about Paydays?
Paydays are good. I mean, that's kind of a sleeper candy because it's not. It doesn't feel like a candy bar.
It's not chocolate, but
man, it's good.
Payday. Yeah, we'll go Payday at 4.
All right,
Kit Kat
Payday
at 5.
at 4. There it is. There's the Fun Hog candy bar ranking official.
You and I have some similar candy taste buds here.
I realize not everyone does in the world. Like I've seen some different candy challenges or candy brackets where different things win, and I'm glad we think similar.
Me too. That makes me feel better about you.
Thank you. Awesome. Well, let me shift gears for a bit.
Do it.
Our weekly what this week is about podcasts. And you can't say Fun Hog podcasts, even though like that's what we're doing right now. But what podcasts have you been it's been catching your ears?
I do not listen to very many podcasts. I tend to be very practical when I'm doing it. But one that I really enjoy is Farnham Street. Are you familiar with that one?
We talked about it a little bit last week.
Yeah,
So I did do a little searching out, and I was like, oh, I remember this. I remember you telling me about this all those years ago.
Yeah, so Shane Parrish interview style. Almost all of them are interviews, but just interviews really thoughtful people, and they break down whatever it is that they're an expert on, and their life studies, and I've really enjoyed a lot of those. So that's probably my most regular rotation. The Nate Land podcast, Nate Bargatze, I really enjoy that. Yeah, that's more if I'm just like killing time in the car kind of thing. But
nice.
But yeah, how about you? What you listening to?
So my go-to, and it's one I've been listening to for a while, but first time this topic's come up, is Darknet Diaries, which is somewhat not kid-friendly, so you can't really watch it around, or listen to it around kids. But the premise is there's this guy named Jack Rhysider who tells you stories about different hackers online, different incidents that have happened. There's security computer hacking, but there's also physical hacking, so trying to break into buildings and stuff. Most of those are white hat type scenarios where they hire people in to see test their own security. But just some of the stories on there from the different people and different things that different stories he's brought, they're really interesting to me. If that kind of stuff has piqued your interest before, or you're interested in learning more about what are the hackers doing, it's a good listen.
Very cool.
Well, you want to hear about my running update?
Ooh, I'd love to. How's that going?
I know we missed last week, so we missed an update. This week it's been 90 to 100 degrees almost every day. So it's been difficult to run during the day or even in the afternoon. But I did get a couple runs in. One was around 2.5 miles. Actually, once I started using this running tool, I stopped kind of carrying my phone and tracking that there. So I don't know what my pace was or anything like that, but it was actually a pretty good excuse. I had to return a DVD video, Batman and Robin, the original, not the best Batman and Batman movie that exists, but it's the one with Mr. Freeze. I checked it out and, showed it to my boys. And
were you at a Blockbuster by chance?
We watched a little bit of it. This is at the library.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You can check out DVDs at the library.
Did the library acquire Blockbuster? Is that how that went down?
It might be. That's where all the old DVDs went and VHSs. So, but so it was due the night before, and I was planning to drive down there. So I decided, hey, I'm just gonna, put on my shoes. I'm gonna go run to the library before work. So it was pretty good. I jogged kind of most of the way. Wasn't too hot, but the shin pain was still there. The shin fire, it's still there. I did find that I was able to run after walking for a little bit. So I think I am building up some of those muscles, but I'm not shin fire free yet. And I did have another run. I ran about a mile and a quarter. I went to the Y and hit up the treadmill with the fan in the middle of a crazy hot day. And so I got a little exercise in, but not as much as I'd hoped.
Yeah. Hey, man, great update. I think just keep on keeping on. I really don't like to run on the treadmills. In fact, the last time I ran on a treadmill was probably 6 years ago or so. I was in the midst of a pretty long running streak, and it really bothered my knee. So be careful on those treadmills. They can be deceptive, but a lot of people, it works for a lot of people. So did you like running on the treadmill?
I mean, it wasn't bad. I think it was the right thing to do at that time because it was 100 degrees at 1 o'clock in the middle of the day. I felt like when I was running, I was being really loud. I'm a big guy, so running on a treadmill is doom, 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 doom. And so that was a little I was a little self-conscious of that, looking around. There's only one other person kind of on a treadmill in there at the same time, but she was not loud. She was kind of had a briskful walk, but
dainty.
a DT walk. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but we did it. It was nice having like the airflow on your face. You know, they had a
Yeah.
little vent, so it was a little comfort. They had all this visual entertainment. I didn't know what to do. I just turned a song on my phone and put my headphones in. So
Yeah. I can believe that. Yeah. I mean, hey, whatever works for you, you know. You make a great point about running quietly. You know, a lot of runners are pretty loud with their feet, and I mean, the only thing that makes noise is friction, right? And so the sound that you're making is slowing you down with your running. So there's inefficiencies whenever you're running and your feet are making a lot of sound.
I think this treadmill was more about like my weight just hitting it, and I don't know if it was just a bad treadmill or what. It wasn't like the it wasn't that. It was more of like the doom 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 doom. If that makes sense.
It's like the landing area, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that treadmill is worn out, or maybe it was rated below my weight. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Sure. Yeah.
But you'd think those things would, they'd handle me. But I was just worried about it. May is just self-conscious. But I have realized when I'm running out, you know, if I'm really paying attention and focusing, you know, I'm lifting my feet properly. You know, there's not a lot of, you know, on the ground. But, you know, once I'm feeling it and I'm kind of worn out and I'm just trying to push myself, there's definitely some feet dragging and some friction that is made. So
Yeah. So do you have a race date planned?
I do not. Is it time to pick one?
I think so. Like, you know, figure out what, you know, because you talked about not doing a formal race, but you know, like doing something with the family or whatnot.
Yeah, we'll do that. It could be a formal race.
Yeah.
We'll see.
A formal race is a great way to do it. You know, that way you got, you know, support. You got like aid stations. You got some water, stuff like that around, and you just have the camaraderie of fellow runners. But yeah, I would encourage you to do a race if you're up for it.
I don't think I'm up for it yet. I think I've got to. I mean, what's kind of like your goal, right? If I want to run a 5K, do you expect to be able to run or jog a 5K before you actually run a 5K, or do you want to be like 90% of that before you join a race, or you know, what's kind of the standard? Or what do you encourage people with?
Yeah. So with the bigger races like a marathon, you almost never run a full marathon before in training, or even a half marathon. You generally get up to about 10 miles. So I would think, you know, if you're comfortable doing 2.5 miles, you'd have a really good chance of finishing a 5K running the whole time. And, you know, that's a pretty common goal, is either to just finish
Gotcha.
it or to try to run the whole time. So depending on what your goal is, I would say 2.5 miles would be where you'd want to have at least one or two of your training runs be.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I can definitely like shoot for that and target that. Yeah, I don't think I'm there yet. Like even just jogging a whole mile. Yeah, I think I could probably do that, but I'm going to be in like a lot of shin fire pain right now. I'm still kind of working that up. So
Yeah. Well, just keep at it then. Yeah, you're running the hottest part of the year, so make sure you're taking plenty of water before you run, while you're running, after you're running. Like, you almost can't overhydrate.
What's the key while you're running? How do you drink water while you're running? What's your go-to method?
Yeah, I have some. They like what's it? Camelback is the brand of so just some water bottles that are like squishy water bottles, but you can buy them. I mean, for like $2 or something, just a squishy water bottle, easy, refillable. You can even just take bottled water, honestly, and any kind of water bottle. I mean, it might be a little heavier, a little bit less efficient, but that's totally fine for where you're at. So. Yeah, but definitely take water with you.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I mean, I am running, but typically it's not, too far. And I know if I go all the way to the library, there is like a water fountain that's kind of in the middle, which is kind of
Yeah.
nice. So
Yeah, it's really nice if you're, the city you're running in has water access. Some, those are unreliable. I've learned on some like longer runs, you're out for 16 miles and you're like, well, there's a water fountain at mile 4. Like it's locked or not working for whatever reason. And you're like, man, I was really counting on water there. So, yeah,
they'll get you.
they will.
They'll get you. That the city folk shutting down the water, saving electricity.
That's right.
All right. Well, I don't think we have any specific listener feedback that came via email, but I did get a Instagram message.
And
Imagine that.
We got a YouTube comment, right?
Yeah, we got a YouTube comment. Why don't you share the YouTube comment, Matt?
Oh, lost you.
Why don't you share the YouTube comment for us?
YouTube comment. Grinch commented, this is in reference to Butch and his beard. It says, that beard and no mustache combo is a tragedy.
Thank you, Grinch.
I really appreciate Grinch and his
I'll take it.
his commentary.
We'll take it, right? That means we made it, right? When people start making fun of us or, talking, jabbing us.
What are the chances of you growing out a mustache, Butch?
Oh, what are the chances? My genes, I don't think, will allow me to grow a good mustache. I have attempted to grow a mustache. It's kind of come in and, done something, but it doesn't look good. It's, I've got pretty much between like my lips and my chin, it just doesn't come in, and I've just accepted it. I just own it. This is the face that God made me, and the hair's growing where it's gonna want to grow. It stopped growing up top. I've accepted it, and I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna say 0%.
0%, man. Yeah, I always look clean shaven on the podcast. It's not because I'm clean shaven. It's because I just don't really grow facial hair at all. So, I do have to shave occasionally, but yeah, there's no chance I'm growing a mustache.
You can get like a stick-on mustache.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe it's a good prank. Yeah.
There you go. Well, I did want to share. We got a comment on Instagram from Miss Beth Marks Wolf. So she said, "Y'all are so good at this. Very entertaining. Clap, clap." I'm pretty sure. Yeah, those are claps. So we're doing it. At least somebody finds us a little entertaining. Just so all of our listeners know, we don't do it for y'all, even though we do love y'all. We just do it for us.
It's just for us. This is just fun. Yeah. Ooh, we
do it for the fun.
Yeah. How long would you say this has been in the works, Butch?
And I feel like I told you years ago, like, hey, we should do a podcast at some point. And, it's just, we didn't have a topic, but I said, hey, I think that would be fun and entertaining. And, I'd kind of forgotten about it a little bit. Like, I hadn't really pushed it or anything. And you came to me and said, let's do this. Let's record. We set on 10, I think is what we set on our first podcast. This is number 10. We made it. Congratulations. Confetti flying. If there's confetti. We made it to 10. So that's exciting. I think I've got some more in me. How about you, Matt?
Yeah, no, I think we're definitely hitting our stride now, and you've really picked it up the mantle here lately. I feel like, yeah, I got into kind of creating some stuff early, and it's just been a huge blast. So we're just gonna keep it going.
Keep it going. We might take a week off here and there, so just hold your horses. If we need to take a week off, and it'll be fine. We'll still be around.
Yeah,
so
maybe season 2.
Oh, we're doing seasons now.
I mean, just anytime we need to take a week off, we'll
Love
just make that a season break. Hey, we're gonna spin that wheel.
Let's spin the wheel. All right. We're here. We're here with the wheel.
Oh, I thought that said rapport. It says Pop-Tart. Got it.
It does say Pop-Tart.
Is there a word you're rooting for? You're always rooting for bacon. Yeah.
I do always root for bacon. Here we go.
That was a good spin sound.
It's bacon.
It's bacon.
Called it.
Well, man. I mean,
Oh, is
clearly
it bacon? It is bacon. Okay, I just
Yeah.
want to make sure. It's real close to Pop-Tart, so.
Well, there's clearly going to be an episode 11. I mean, there's no way we're quitting on the bacon spin.
We
So
got to now. I'm excited about bacon.
I would describe myself as intimidated right now. Like, I just feel like you're bringing just. I'm excited for our listeners. You know what? We may just. We're gonna have to do this a little bit different style. I'm just gonna have to shut up and just really let everyone immerse themselves in the richness of your bacon knowledge.
I do think you're overreacting here. Just to set the fans straight. You know, I love bacon. I would not consider myself a bacon connoisseur, but I really love it, and I like it, and I'll eat it. But I don't know a lot about it.
How many bacon stickers would you estimate that you have? How much bacon paraphernalia?
Bacon paraphernalia. That's good. At least 7 or 8 things. But they're different things. I will bring some to the show next time. We'll show some bacon paraphernalia off.
I think it's going to be super fun. So I'm really, really excited. We made it this far and excited to keep it going.
100%. Well, thanks for spending some time with us. I'm Butch.
I'm Matt.
Go
forth and hog
some fun.